Right.
And some of the kids, if you're in your 20s, you're not thinking about this,
Yeah.
right? You're just thinking about going out, hanging out with friends. Now, thank you very much for joining us again in our podcast. We've got a very nice special guest today because of Michelle. Paulos was the one that was able to actually, you're the one that was able to invite her.
Yes.
For us, because we're going to be talking about, I think a lot of the young kids are able to go and listen to this and pick up something. Because who do we have today, Michelle?
We have Nanette Cartago. She's a friend of mine from Road Bike Babes.
Yeah, so if you notice that Michelle has many friends, and Nanette is a friend because of they try to stay fit as much as they can. And this is, I think, the way they met. But we're right now, we are coming to you from the Tri-Valley, San Francisco Bay Area, Alameda County, and we're in the city of Pleasanton, Dublin area, because that's where we live. And Nanette, could you tell us a little bit about where we live and what you do?
Okay, so I'm Nanette Cartago. I'm a friend of Michelle and Dr. Paulos. And we live in the Tri-Valley, which is a very, how should I say it, vibrant city. My children grew up here. I've lived here for about 25 years now, and I'm a real estate agent for 21 years. So I've been serving the community, the Tri-Valley, and most of the Bay Area for 21 years.
Now, if you look at that, if you look at us here in the Tri-Valley, Alameda County, the East Bay area, and in this particular area, when we move here, we stay here. Now, how long have you been here, Michelle?
We've lived here it's going to be 20 years this September.
Yeah, I mean, I think we basically just moved here at the same time that Nanette moved here, right? And I mean, you've seen the Tri-Valley area just boom. I mean, you remember how this place, it used to be not a really small town, but it's boom, and it's still growing. And and the reason why we've got Nanette here is she's going to tell us a little bit about how real estate could be helpful for our kids, because of, in this podcast, or what our main goal would be is really to make sure that we are talking to those young kids, 20-year-old, mid-20s, people that are just growing up and starting. And then us, we're mid-50s, late 50s, early 50s.
I'm early 50s.
Yeah. Well, she does look pretty here, but
Not mid-50s.
And you know what? My wonderful wife has a nickname for Nanette. What's her nickname?
Nanette, you want me? I call her sexy.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, the reason for that is that, we're trying to do here, we're living longer now. And we're trying to stay healthy as much as we can. And that's one of the things that we're trying to teach our kids: stay healthy spiritually. And then, now I'm hoping that Nanette could give us a little bit of an idea as to how healthy they can be in starting their life. And the question that I have for somebody who's in real estate is, when should they start looking into maybe getting into real estate, or never? I'm not sure. Some people are just renting now, but is there a time that you actually get and get into real estate, Nanette?
So as an investment, and as early as you can get, real estate, again, I always tell my clients, is the greatest hedge against inflation, right? So any investment, any real estate investment will really help you in the future. So if you start early, then you're way ahead of everyone. Can you imagine our children in the next 5-10 years, how much the real estate is for them, how much buying home for them is? So whether your first home will never be your forever home. It's always going to be your first step for your dream home, right? Or wherever you are, you'll always have to have a real estate investment.
Yes. Now, You know, Arnold Paulos, Michelle Paulos, first generation Filipino. I came here when I was 9 years old, and Michelle,
I was born here.
born in San Francisco. Now, Nanette, where are you from? Where were you born? First generation?
So I was born and raised in the Philippines. We migrated here 33 years ago, and my kids are all born and raised here in the Tri-Valley. So very fortunate and very blessed that we were able to raise our kids here in this beautiful community.
Now, compare that to living in the Philippines. Now, you mentioned buying a home, and this is our second home, right, Michelle?
Yes.
The first place that we went to was in Hayward. We started very, very modest. I mean, we were living in my parents' backyard to begin with. And then we were able to buy our own house. And then we moved to Pleasanton when our kids were in kindergarten. The first grade, right?
Yes.
Preschool. And they all grew up here. They all went to school here. And if we were to compare that, Nanette, check this out. If we were to compare that, living in the Philippines, I mean, wonderful country. That's, I go back there all the time. But if you notice in the Philippines, you were born in that house, and everybody lives in that same house, and they stay in that same house, and everybody seems to keep that house, that same house. Did that happen to your family? Because that's happening to my family.
They never left.
Right? Do you notice that?
Yeah.
Totally different from the United States.
Well, we're very independent here. Our children, we teach them how to be independent because we don't want them to be dependent on us when they're like 40s or 50s. At the very young age, I was able to teach my children how to wash dishes, how to take care of themselves. In the Philippines, we're very fortunate. We're very blessed. We have helpers, we have drivers, we have cooks. It's just like migrating here, I was in total shock. I don't know anything except cleaning my own room and cleaning my own bathroom. So I took it on as a fun thing for me to learn how to cook, to learn how to adapt, how to live here in California. And the being independent and being able to do the things that I'm able to do by myself, raising my children by myself, for me and my husband and our grandparents who help us raise our children. Going back to the Philippines, I was looking at all of the help that they can get, that they have, and I was just like, wow, I accomplished a lot of things. I was able to do all these things and yet work and yet be a wife, be a mom, be a sister, and be a friend. And I was able to work well, balancing your time while your kids are growing up.
Just from what you mentioned, you've been here in the United States now for what, over 30 years?
33 years, yeah.
So you're looking at, you got here in the early 90s then?
Yes.
Right? Now, you're coming from early 90s, and you're thinking, okay, I'm going to start a career. And was real estate the first career, the first thing that you did?
No, funny how you asked me that. I used to work for a dental office for maybe 8, 12, 10 years.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yes,
Wow.
yes. So I work in the South Bay, and that was my very first job. And then I tried other things like working in another corporate office in accounting, but didn't work for me because I'm so far away from my children. So the schedule didn't work out well. So I went back to working at the dental office, and then 9/11 hit. And I told my husband, I said, this is our great time to get our own house. The home price really dropped, but the interest rate were so high. And so we did. So we take that decision, and that was the best decision we ever had. After 2 years, we had so much equity in that house. We used to live in Tracy, and we were able to purchase a house in the Tri-Valley. after 2 years.
Yeah, so you're looking at early 2000s, right? Early 2000s. That's when everybody was moving to Tracy in the Central Valley of California. And that was the crazy time when the real estate equity was just crazy, right? You remember that?
Yeah. So it was 9/11. The interest rate was like at 8 and 11%. So I remember we were paying so much for a $375,000 home. And I keep telling my husband, I said, we'll make money off this property. We'll make sure we refinance after, we get 80% of our value. And we did. And then after 2 years, we were fortunate to have a hefty amount of equity. And so we were able to sell the property and move back to the area.
Yeah. These are the things that you don't really, if you're not hanging around or around people who actually knows real estate, you would know this unless somebody was helping you and telling you this is what's going to happen, or at least kind of predict what's going to happen, where you could build up assets, build up equities, move up to a better house. And I think that's the reason why you were mentioning, that first house that you get might not be the house that you are actually going to be living in because of you. And remember, Michelle, the first when we were looking for a house. Let me tell you this: when we were looking for a house, we weren't even looking for a house. We were looking for a condo.
With that,
We are looking for a condo, late 90s here.
Yeah.
Our kids were just born. We only had one.
Yeah.
And we said, you know what? I think we got to get out of my parents' backyard. Living in my parents' backyard. And brand new couple, one baby. And I said, Michelle, I think we need to start having our own place. Right. I was in my 30s, mid 30s. Michelle, late 20s, right?
No, mid 20s.
and then now the question that I had in the beginning was, when do you start buying or thinking about real estate? And to tell you the truth, there is no right time really. You just have to make sure that you're ready to take on that responsibility, because I don't think, just like having kids, you're never ready. You just do it, right? You just do it. And then so the story was, we are looking for a place to stay because we can't stay in the backyard of my parents. And then I'm going but what we did was we were saving and we were really living below our means. That's something that I'm teaching my kids, is that you earn income, you live below your means, save for maybe a rainy day for sure, so that you have runway to go to, and then maybe start saving for a down payment. Because at that time we looked at our saving, we only could afford a condo, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking, at that time, it was in the Bay Area. We're talking here in the Bay Area, Hayward, Castro Valley, Tri-Valley. The houses were about that much, 350,000. Some of them were at 400,000. Some of them were $500,000. And we were thinking oh my goodness, $500,000. We take that now. What do you think? I'll take two of those. Right? Exactly. But when we were starting, we go, can we even afford this?
Yeah.
But I had a friend who told me, he said, Arnold, do not get that condo. You will be moving out in 6 months. That's what they told me. I said, yeah, but that's all I could afford. And then he said that, you could afford it. He said that you could afford it. And I said, but you know what? Just like when you jump in the pool, it's cold, right? It's like, I don't want to jump in there. It's too cold. But then once you jump in there, and then you know what? The water gets a little like your body temperature, and you're more comfortable. Until you get to the deep end, if you don't know how to swim, right? So you just kind of stay into that shallow end to make sure you're breathing. But one of my best good friend that talked about that said, you do not want to move in that condo. You will move out, because we had another one coming. We had another baby coming, right?
It was 1998, 96.
So we had a baby already, and then we had another baby coming, and he said, that condo is going to be too small for you. He was he a real estate? He was kind of he was doing real estate. And so that's why I said Nanette is a good friend. And if you need anybody in the Tri Valley doing real estate, make sure you look up,
Nanette.
about and see what she can do for you, because you need somebody like that, a friend that could help you, give you this advice, because that's the first advice that we got, trying to figure out where we're going to live. And he said, don't do it. He said, you need to get a bigger house. And then he's, well, how true was that?
It was, we needed it.
I would have bought that.
space.
I would have bought that condominium because I think that's what I could afford. But he just said, "You're going to move. You will not stay there." Right? He knew it.
Yeah.
And then I said, "Wow." And then we bought this new house, brand new, because it seems like that seems to be the way we do things. It's just getting brand new. It's just that's just the way it seems like. I don't know. Just it was nice to just get brand new, right?
It had a view.
Yeah, but I gotta tell you, you do not have to buy brand new. You do not.
No.
Because I remember Michelle's brother was looking at older houses in the peninsula. Those things were double,
Yes.
double the price. I'm not moving there, right?
Yes.
It was double the price,
And
and it was
small.
like 50 old house that you got to still fix up.
Yeah.
And then he ended up moving to the same new development. Now we're talking early 2000 here. When the real estate boom,
1999.
when everybody was getting into the real estate, we were in that middle of before the .com bust, right?
Right.
And then that's where you were getting in there in the Tri-City. Oh no, actually the Central Valley, where everybody was moving because it was a lot more affordable compared to the Bay Area,
Right.
right? Wasn't that the idea then?
Now, my idea that time was there was this house, like House of the Month or House of whatever, the Prime House, or that's how they promote it. And it used to be like $485,000. And then when we came back,
What year?
2001 or
Okay.
it was 9/11, 2001.
Okay.
And so when we saw it, it was 485, but they dropped the price to 350. I saw money right there.
Yeah, that's equity already.
I wasn't in real estate yet, but I told my husband, I said, that's money right there. We need to buy that property. We need to get qualified. And so the very first step is to really get qualified beforehand. You are looking for a property. So in that way, you know what to save and what not to spend, where to spend your money, where to put your money before purchasing a property. So you got a plan as well when you're purchasing a property. You need the guidance of professional lender, professional real estate agent as well, so that they know if you're qualified for a certain amount of money, where you're going, right? So at that time, there's still properties in San Jose for 485, but you're right. It was older. I don't have time to fix it. I don't have a budget to fix it. And it's just, it's either I would sacrifice my commute or fix up this house. So it's kind of like, it depends. It actually really depends on what each family's goal is.
Yes.
When you are purchasing a property. So there was Ace Train in Tracy, which we can avail of, working in the Bay Area. So we and that's a decision why we purchased that property in Tracy, because we can be away from that hard commute, that traffic. So we ride the train, we leave one car. So it's really a sacrifice looking back, how you plan ahead for your family. So all of these little sacrifices, it gives meaning in your life when you look back, and it really is like a great feeling that you were able to do it, right? So we were able to sell the property. The reason why I was in real estate now is because I got pregnant with my third child in Tracy. So, and I was bedridden because I had this condition. And so I told my husband, I said, I don't know what I'm going to do if I'm just like bedridden. And I'm always like on the go. Michelle knows that. Michelle would always have to chase me. Where are you? Well, which part of the world or country or Bay Area you're at? I'm always like chasing it, right? So I studied real estate while I was pregnant. And I remember my mom told me, if you really wanted to be in real estate, I just wanted you to remember that this business is not something you try. This business is going to try you. So if you really wanted to be a real estate agent, if you really put your heart and soul and your goal is to help people like how you experienced it, go for it. But I want to make sure you have to really get your goals set in. You have to focus, and you just have to make sure that you pray each day. It's like everything that you do, you offer it to God, and everything that you do will always bite you back if you don't do good to others. So it really stayed in my mind, and it's just like she also told me, like, when you because my mom is an entrepreneur, and she says in every business you have to put God first, family, and then your business. If you don't put it in that order, everything's all going to be messed up. So I gave birth to our third child, and it was January. I passed my real estate exam in February. I met my first broker in the hospital because their baby and my baby had jaundice. And then he asked me, he's all like, "What are you doing in the dark?" And I said, "I am reviewing my exam because I do have real estate test in the next couple of weeks." And he says, "Oh my gosh, you are such a hard worker, and look at you. Here you are inside the hospital, with your baby. Here's my card. Once you pass that exam, call me." And everything is history.
How long have you been doing real estate now? Since then, right at that time?
My youngest is 21, so he turned 21 in January. Every birthday, I know I'm 21 years in the business. Yes. So that's how I count it.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying was most of what we do is basically work hard and then raise kids, build a community. And that's the reason why we know Nanette is because of, in this community, Tri-Valley. Mm-hmm. And this is how actually it should work, helping each other. Yeah. And then that's why my question again would be, how would that 25-year-old, somebody just starting their life or early 30s and thinking about, I need to get into real estate, because you mentioned something about getting pre-qualified first, which is important, right? Because then and this is actually the right way of doing real estate. We're not talking about no money down. We're not talking about fix and flip, things like that. That's talking about real estate investment. What we're talking about is your most expensive purchase in your life here, right? Because of when you do buy a home, you're really trying to do it not because it's an investment and then try to create assets, but it's a home. Now you could surely, like what you've done, because you mentioned that you have equity and then you move it forward, you step up, just like we've done, right? But nobody teaches you that unless somebody who is a real estate agent, real estate professional, who knows about that this is the way it works. Right. And some of the kids, if you're in your 20s, you're not thinking about this, right? You're just thinking about going out, hanging out with friends, things like that. But we've been through that. You've been through that. For some people, this is important. For others, maybe not, because there's some people, they don't want to purchase a home. But the right way to do it, if you are purchasing a home, just like you mentioned, is getting pre-qualified, being able to afford that house, right? And then now what happens next? Like you get pre-qualified, what happens next after that?
So you get pre-qualified, and then the lender will actually tell you, okay, you can afford $450,000. So now the client and the lender will get back to me. Oh, I'm pre-approved for 450,000. Where can I get a $450,000 home? And that's where we decide if this is the area that you like, or if this is a townhouse or a condominium that you wanted to purchase. And if they would tell me, no, I'm not ready for that, or I don't want to be in that area, or I don't want to move far from my work, then let's set a plan. So it's always like you prepare. It's like you engage now, then you prepare, then you save. Those are the three things that I always tell my clients. So if you don't want a $450,000 home, let's save up so that you can actually move up to $550,000 home. And then they were like, no, I don't want to miss out. Then if you don't want to miss out, then these are the areas that we're going to look at, or these are the properties that we're going to look at. And then my youngest client, I'm really proud of them. Up to this day, it's like they just texted me and they said, oh, we had our backyard done. And, they approached me, the newlyweds.
How young?
Maybe they're almost 30.
Okay, 30.
Yeah, so late 20s, early 30s. That's basically the people that we're talking to, really, who is trying to figure out, is it time to purchase a home, starting a family, and what's the right way to do it, right?
Yeah. So it's like when you have a game plan and you follow that game plan, then you will be able to achieve it, right?
Yes.
Every day, a goal is a goal, not until it's a written goal. If you would just like say out there, oh, I want to buy a property in like 2028, you're just saying it out loud. But when you write it and you make sure that this is your goal in the next, 3 years, 5 years, or let's start with small goals. What is your goal? I always tell my kids or people that I work with, what is your 10-day goal? What's your short-term goal and what's your long-term goal? Then let's work on it together. So this client of mine, I'm very proud of. So they approached me, we saved up money, purchased a house, and they invited me to their house. They texted me the other day and they're all like, we wanted to invite you because we were able to save up, because we were able to have our backyard done. And I'm like, wow. And it's like, I am not just like their real estate agent. I am just like part of their family now, because they always update me. And every time that my clients include me and update me after the home sale, I'm always like proud of myself that I was able to help them with their home goals. So at the end of the day, it's not how many homes I sold. It's how many relationships I built over the years. I may be the same person 21 years later, but the difference is what the books I've read and what the people and who are the people I've met over the 21 years. And that makes the difference in my life, So it's like, I'm so proud. I'm 21 years in the business. And I'm so happy that the next generation clients I have are the grandkids or their children who are purchasing a property. So now I feel like, ooh, I'm in that age. They call me auntie, they call me Nita. So, and to be a trusted advisor, it really means a lot to me.
Yes, because that's what basically, for you are an advisor. You're basically advising people financially with real estate, right? And purchasing their new home, purchasing their second home. They come to you for the third home because they trust you already. They know that you're going to help them. That's just the way it works, doesn't it? Isn't that the way that stuff works? It's just that repeat person that comes back because they trust you to help them again. So now, being a real estate agent, is that the only way that you could help young kids that way? Or maybe if not young kids, but just people who wants to buy real estate? Is there any other ways that a realtor can help besides buying a house?
I'm very proud of Christie's International Serena Group, where I'm at. I'm also an ambassador for 1% for Good, We also help a lot of communities, like in the Tri Valley, most especially. Even in the South Bay, we do have this program that we give back to the community. So, like one particular, what you call this, grant, we do give grants every quarter. So we want to make sure that we also impact the community by helping them. All Saints in Hayward, they
Yes.
do have this program that they help the homeless. They give them a bath. So we were able to grant $7,000 to this community so that they will be able to get their license, to get their insurance, so that all of the homeless people will have a chance to just get their, shower. So we also have Humane Society that we're helping rape victims, animals, shelter animals, and a lot more. So when you build a community, you also wanted to give back to the community. And that's what I'm really proud of. Even in my previous company, I'm part of the foundation. And I want to make sure that people's perception is like, oh, all you do is just like put a sign and then sell a house. And then that's just what you do. But what they don't understand is the back end of what you're doing. And for us to be able to give back to the community, it's huge. It's not a lot of companies like Sereno are able to give back to the community. And we want to make sure that we take care of our community.
Yeah, and you live in this community, right? But you're serving other counties, but mostly it's the Tri Valley.
So my business is built by referral. So I used to live in San Jose, and then I moved to Milpitas, and then I moved to Tracy, and then I moved to the Tri Valley. So I built it by referral for 21 years. So I'm all over the place. Mm-hmm. And what's the beauty of it is I'm a generalist. I know most of the Bay Area. So, and that's why I was able to get to know a lot of people. I remember my son would always say to our youngest son, don't lie to mom, because mom knows a lot of people. If they see you, they will tell mom. So anywhere in the Bay Area, I know somebody. Anywhere in the Bay Area, they would tell me, I saw your son. And, we were in San Jose, I saw your son. And I'm like...
Yeah, and the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, California, it's huge.
It
I mean,
is.
when we're talking about the Bay Area, this Northern California is big. I mean, if you ever get around to visit Northern California, if you're not from around here, there are so much things to do here.
Oh,
Like, we're spoiled here.
we're
We're like, there's too many things to do. Sometimes we don't even know what we should, like, we get confused, so many things to do.
yeah.
But this is a wonderful place to live.
Yeah. It's like, wow, how blessed are we that we were, like Michelle and I the other day. Michelle, I really wanted to ride that route. She says, let's go biking. And I said, okay, let's go to that route where we were like in the vineyards, and I was driving home and I'm like, wow, how many people can ride bikes within the vineyards? And that's your exercise. How many people can walk and be by the lake or be on top of the mountain and you could see the whole Bay Area? You could see, God's creation. It's like, how many people are blessed? Like in the Bay Area, we're so vibrant. There's so many things to do. There's so many things to, the activities that we have, biking, hiking, swimming, running. It's like, we are so blessed, I think I will never leave California.
I love this place. I like the Bay Area. And, and if I was to ask you, because we always talk about where we go on vacation. I mean, this is so centralized. San Francisco, SFO. You could go anywhere in the world from this hub. There's a direct flight in our favorite country, the Philippines. I mean, what? How long does it take us to get there? 13, 14 hours, coming back 12 hours. And then one flight, it's direct. Whereas if you went to another place, another country, if you're from another, you've got to hop different airlines just to get to that place. But California, we are right here, 14 hours in Asia, 14 hours to Europe, right? If you wanted to think about it that way. And then if you want to go to Mexico, 3 hours.
Yes.
And if you want to go to Hawaii, 5 hours. And it's so close. I mean, this is just the area that we live in is so convenient for what we do. Not that it's not expensive. California is expensive, right? I mean, we're talking about if you lived in the Tri-Valley, the cost of living here in the Tri-Valley, you go to San Francisco, is it expensive? It's expensive. And so now we're thinking, how do you actually raise a family, a community? But you really have to pick a community that you like. We just happen to be living in a nice community in the Tri-Valley, right? Yeah. And then so now if I was to ask you, where do you go on vacation? Because you don't always just do real estate. You don't always just exercise, but then you always have to at least luxurious vacation, or maybe just go in someplace. What would be a nice place that you go to? Because you go around the world. I don't even know. Sometimes I go, you're a realtor, but you're always around the world someplace.
Well, my husband's our favorite is Spain. Europe is our favorite. So, thanks to COVID, we were able to travel more because, working from home, and it's like, you can work anywhere, right? But Europe is our favorite place. Of course, we would always go back to the Philippines, but I don't know. It's like our goal is actually sitting right next to me. This is our goal. So we actually, funny how you said that. So we pin the areas that we've been. So our next goal is Greece. We haven't been to Greece, and I really like Africa. I have 3 boys, 4, including my husband. No one wants to go with me in Africa. So I'm saying it out loud that, hey, whoever who wants to go to Africa, please bring me.
Yeah. So, it's not just about real estate. It's not just about, living in the Bay Area, but, it's really just being healthy, right? And being active.
Yeah. You have to live a balanced life.
Yes.
It's like I've always been teaching my children there's 5 circles in our life. It's your faith, it's your personal, it's your fitness, your business, and your finances, right? So all these circles you have to put in at least 10% each time. And every time that you put in effort for your finances, for your health, for your family, for spiritual, for fitness, this circle is moving right along. My husband and I really worked hard when we were really younger, and we're still working hard as well, but we made it a goal that we would enjoy traveling together while we can still walk. So it's like we wanted to see the world because our parents died really young. And we always wanted our children, once a year, we bring our family to a trip so that, the memories that we built, during our trips would last a long time. And now that the kids are older, that's the only time that we can actually spend time with them. If they can give us like a week that we can go on a vacation somewhere, that's golden. We embrace it. We are thankful. So, and traveling the world really is a great therapy, and learning the diversity of each and every country. So,
yeah. So even if you're a realtor in the Tri-Valley, you have to stay healthy and make sure that you're using all the time that you've got to travel, just like Nanette. Right. So, now, anything that you'd like to add? I told you, I promise you, it wouldn't be taking that long for this podcast.
Yeah.
But you've given so much stuff here. Do you have any more?
Yeah.
We could take home.
I really wanted to thank you for, for this podcast. I know you were telling me earlier, what are the values that you can share? Owning your own business, whether it's, a small business, whether it's real estate, owning your own business, taking care of your business starts from you. So for me, I really nurture, I really want to make sure that I take care of myself. If you start taking care of yourself, then it will show, and you're vibrant to others. Because if you're tired, it would really look like you're tired. If you don't invest in yourself, like reading books, power of self-help, and surrounding yourself with good people, and picking the right people that you surround yourself with, and most especially, I'm a woman of faith, and I believe that's how I'm able to stay longer in the real estate business. And I really have fun, selling homes. It's so funny. I used to work in a dental office. If I see someone smile at me, I know the X-ray right away. But now I've been doing real estate for 21 years. If I see you, I know where you live. It's like I wouldn't remember the street, but it's like I built a community within what I built over the 21 years, and I love it. Was there mistakes? Yes, but I don't dwell on the mistakes. I dwell on the little successes that I have, and that is how I'm able to remember and tell myself the success that I have. It's not the quantity of how many homes I sold. The relationship, the family I met is where my treasure is. So that's the legacy that I know that I will leave behind, because I built a community, and I built a very sweet and kind-hearted people that I met throughout the years.
And I wouldn't know you unless you were my wife's good friend. So
Of course.
that's the reason why we have a good friend in Nanette. It's because of Michelle Paulos has.
Oh, yes, absolutely. She encourages me. Oh my gosh. She encouraged me when I was really like so lazy. She's like, come on, sexy, let's do it.
Yeah. And then, that's her personality. And that's the reason why, I'm always doing something, because she's letting me do what I do, because it's really just to be healthy and be happy. And I think I see that you're very happy, and I'm glad that you were able to share with us, and I hope that we could do this again.
Yes.
And then, until next time, hopefully you make sure everybody comment as to what you'd learned from this. You'll be seeing a lot more of Nanette. And also, hopefully, we'll go ahead and see you again in our next episode at this podcast. Thank you very much.